so, so much. I love you so, 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 so much. I love you so, 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 so much. I love you so, 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 so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, this episode of the Positive Head Podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online, and you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. All right, all you positive heads, welcome back to another episode. Here we go again. So happy to be back with you guys to answer some questions today from listeners. Been getting some good questions lately, and of course, it's one of my favorite things to do because it allows us to co-create these lovely episodes together. And so yeah, don't be shy. If you haven't ever written in a question, love to get that from you. Hear what you're thinking, hear what you're wondering. If you'd like my 2 cents or 10 cents, most likely. You might get $1.50. I'm liable to keep talking for a long time, but you know what you signed up for when you clicked play, so we're all good. Let's see. I do have and by the way, you can write in those questions via email, brandon@positivehead.com, through the positivehead.com contact page, on the Facebook group, Positive Heads, which is our private group where you can connect with other listeners, ask them questions as well, support each other, all kinds of goodness happening over there. So join up if you haven't already. And let's see here. I would like to read a review on iTunes before I start looking at some questions here. You guys know I love my iTunes reviews. They not only help us to reach new people, but they definitely fuel my fire to continue this labor. I do that at least once an episode. You guys would probably be disappointed now if I didn't talk like that at least a couple times. Yeah, it's my patented move. You know, I'm a professional. So let's see. This review today on iTunes. Love getting them. Oh, that's what I was saying before I started talking like... what does that sound like? Like a octopus or something maybe would talk that way? I don't know. I feel like there's something better. Anyway, now that I'm not an octopus voice, let's see. This review came in from Kaya Karate. And it is a magical gift from the universe. There are no words for how much this podcast means to me and the joy it brings to my life. I've struggled for years with feeling alone within my own spirituality and consciousness. I feel like I found a community that is so close to my own soul where I fit right in. Brandon has a way of consistently touching on topics that I'm always in alignment with. So, much love for everything that Positive Heads has provided to me and so many others. Well, thank you, Kaya Karate, for taking the time to complete the circle of love that I'm putting out into the world and the other P-heads are putting out into the world via the group, and even, mentioning everyone in the review. I love that because it's true. It is all reflections and extensions around here, and you guys rock. I love you guys. All right, let's see. Jumping right into the questions. This one came in on the Facebook group from Jonathan. Jonathan said, "Hey, Brandon, thanks for opening yourself up for us. Your podcast has given me many uplifting shifts to my vibrations. I'm writing for advice, though. My partner and I have been doing the best we can to stay on the path. We have a deep understanding of compassion and empathy. However, we both sometimes get into these very negative perspectives about our daily lives. When one of us is feeling that struggle, the negativity inevitably feeds itself into more negative energy. Eventually, it ignites both of our fickle tempers. Next thing you know, we've lost sight of the spiritual path and are just swimming in anger and getting farther from the shore. We just start being angry that we are angry with ourselves, and angry that this or that was said, even when we didn't really mean the things we said. It's like we are being too reactionary. We are pretty tired and frustrated with the daily, and I think it just comes from that, because I know in the bigger picture, it's all okay. We live and work on a farm together. She works part-time, and I'm pursuing my goals of actualizing and supporting myself through my artworks. A lot of the frustration may come from the confusion of our roles and responsibilities. It's difficult juggling self-work and healing, working with your partner, literally laboring with your partner, and being on the path to hopefully leave this world a little better. I guess I'm just seeking advice on how to create more comforting space for the two of us to listen and understand each other's needs better. I know we're doing what we can and shouldn't beat ourselves up over it, but we are tired of getting angry over the little things and losing sight of our path to higher consciousness. We both started our journey around the same time, separately, and merged. Do you think sometimes the overwhelmingness of all the paths and information available to us creates a volatile situation where it's all so much so fast and we can't get on a solid path? You know, because there's so much new happening that we get kind of lost in it. I'm rambling. Maybe I found my answers through typing again. Much love and appreciation for your work. Thank you." Well, I got to say, I'm angry over this question. No, just kidding. I can relate to this one. You guys know I've talked a lot about my own issue with reactivity and certain people that can trigger it in my life. And, you know, a lot of times it's those we're closest to. In my case, my brother has been a trigger a lot of times, or my son, or, you know, or my parents. They say, if you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your family. And what I strive personally to do is really get into a space like Krishnamurti said, "This is my secret. I don't mind what happens." And that's so profoundly powerful. Now, are you there? Am I there all the time? I'm there sometimes. You're probably there sometimes. All of you guys listening. The goal is to get into that space more often, right? To relax about the whole thing, relax about the journey, relax about what happens. And you've identified some things here that are important. One is, you said, a lot of the frustration may come from the confusion of our roles and responsibilities. And that's a big part of communication, right? So what I would do is, one piece of advice is I would sit down and take the roles and responsibilities that you know of, and of course things are shifting all the time, and figure out together who's doing what, when, where, and how. A great tool that you can use for this project type management that I love, I use for business, called Trello, Trello. It's great. It's like very visual, and as an artist, so you'll appreciate that. It's got the, it's like a board that you can drag things around and create columns, and, working on this to do, where it's at. You can put notes with it, and it's just great. I absolutely love it. So maybe get a little more organized, right? And stop caring so much what happens. What if you made it so today your only job is to not react? That is the number one task it's the only task on my list of to-dos, is to quit caring what happens. Lighten up, right? And also understanding this person is your workout partner. You guys are doing a lot together, it sounds like. So you're literally, working out together, working through these things so that you can grow. As I've said many times, I love, a smooth sea's never made for a skilled sailor. I love that quote because that's so true. You need to be challenged if you're going to grow in your own calming superpowers. And I actually talked about this on the last episode. We talked about the cup of coffee, and what spills out is really what's in there when someone bumps you. So when someone bumps you, what's spilling out? That anger, right? And so that anger is already there because of these things that you're tired of your daily grind. You're saying you want to be doing more support, being able to support yourself through your artworks, all these things. So then any little thing, you're probably easily blowing up. So if you can just become more aware of what's happening and understanding that, you know what, you'll never get it done. You'll always want something new. Even if you achieved all those things, you became the most successful artist and you're making millions of dollars doing that. And you don't have to ever milk a cow again or whatever it is that's going on the farm. And there's going to be something else that you desire and want. You're never, as Abraham talks about, you're never going to get it done. So relax into it. Quit caring so much what happens. This is the path to so much. When you can let it go, that's when you can open it up more. Right. And so that's some advice that I have. Go listen to the last episode as well. Where I talked about this. I believe it's episode 578. And this was a bit of that conversation as well. And also take a listen to this. I found this on fp360.com's YouTube page. It's a very short clip of Eckhart Tolle talking about how to deal with anger. 3 tips in like a minute and a half or so. Take a listen.
Becoming aware of whatever is happening inside you, so that the anger is no longer you, the anger is anger, and you are the awareness. You know it, you see it, you feel it. The anger can become a very important spiritual practice for you, because through it, awareness can grow. So it's sometimes strange for people to see you can be thankful for things that you think are the most difficult obstacles in your life, but they can become your greatest opportunity for spiritual awakening. Use it as part of your practice. You recognize it as a thought that comes from anger, not the truth. It's a thought form that comes from anger, the pain body. And if a thought comes from anger, it's not the truth, it's a distortion. Recognize it and you say, oh, there's another thought form that says something negative, that there's nothing you can do, you might as well give up. Whatever thoughts come, recognize that it's a thought form.
Become aware that anger is not you, right? So it's going to happen again. The anger is not you. You are the awareness of the anger. For me, when it happens, I can notice. I still get angry sometimes. Like I said, I think of, dealing with my brother and our business together, and sometimes I can, we'll get into these old patterns, and that's the things we get into patterns with people in relationships, right? Where we start escalating our agitation with each other, escalating. Well, when that happens now, sometimes I can curtail it. Other times I'm just becoming aware. I'm like, oh, it's happening. And the anger can become a spiritual practice for you because through it, he says, awareness can grow. So, that's probably something you haven't considered, being thankful for the anger, using it as a tool, right? Using all these things as the jumping off point from what you become next. You can be thankful for the obstacles, he said. Use it as a part of your practice and bringing awareness to it when you're observing it, saying, hey, this is, let's be honest what's going on here. This is a thought form. It comes from anger. It's not the truth. It's a distortion of the truth. It's not really me. And I'm going to observe it. It may still be happening, but by bringing observation to it, he talks about this in his book, The Power of Now. The pain body, right? And he referenced it briefly there. When this energy overtakes you, where you'll notice your breathing is shallow and you'll start paying attention. Look within your body. You'll feel it all throughout your body. So the more you become aware of what it is, the less power it has over you. It's like, it's all these times you're lost in anger, you're convinced that's you, when really it's not. It's a thought form that's taken you over, right? It's blocked energy that is seeking a release in some way. It's how the ego self, the cut off self from source, it feeds itself. And when you bring awareness to it, you can then start dissipating. It's like pulling the plug on the vacuum. It may run still for 5 seconds, but it no longer has its power source. And just from that, moving into deep breathing, that's one of the best things when you're angry. Just you'll notice if you can deep breathe and do that for a few rounds, you cannot I challenge anyone to try and have really deep, slow breathing and be angry. You can't do it. It's very hard. Now, it may be hard to get yourself to stop and start the breathing process, but if you can just get there and just take a few moments and practice deep breathing, you'll notice your breath becomes shallow. That's a reflection. When you're angry, it becomes shallow. It's a reflection of how much you can deal with, right? When you go deep breathing, it's like instantly expanding what you can deal with. And so just becoming aware of the body, becoming aware of what's happening, using it, don't resist it so much, right? Let's use it. It's there. It's there right now, right? It's going to come up again. Let's use it as part of our spiritual practice. And I think that's a super, super powerful perspective to bring to the whole thing. All right, I have one other question that I want to touch on briefly, and this one came from Pete on the Facebook group. And he said, "What up, fellow P-heads? I have a question for Brandon or anyone who has some awesome insight for me this morning. So basically, for the last 6 years, I was working a warehouse job, which became more and more unfulfilling and frustrating. Right around the time my spiritual experiences started to peak. I quit in August because I wanted to say to the universe, okay, I'm done. I want something new, which is more in line with my passions. So here I am in December, and I'm conflicted between a few different ideas. These are: 1, your job doesn't make you who you are, so it doesn't matter what you're making money at if you can find happiness within yourself. 2, if you show the initiative, the universe will guide you to the next fulfilling chapter of your life. You just need to keep faith and keep your heart open. 3, when you set out to change, things tend to get worse right before they get better. 4, your inner being will guide you using your feelings and intuition to find the best course of action. So here I am a few months later. I'm still jobless and becoming concerned about where my rent is going to come from. I am this close to heading back to the warehouse work despite the sinking feeling in my gut every time I think about it. I've seen little clues from the universe, repetitive numbers, finding change on the ground, etc., but I'm not completely sure whether I should backtrack to make sure I can support myself and my doggies, or if I should continue to keep the faith that something awesome is going to show up at the last minute. Any guidance would be wonderfully appreciated. Love to you all, Pete." So, Pete, your four different ideas, right? I would say there's truth in all of those, right? Your job doesn't make you who you are. You can certainly use that as a tool for your spiritual practice. I'm in this unhappy job, and I'm going to find peace in it, right? It's not something that I prefer to be doing, rather, right? And I'm finding peace in it. Showing the initiative, the universe, keep your faith. I think that's a big, big, big one. When you set out to change, a lot of times things get worse before they get better. So true. Although there's no definitive rule of the way it's got to be, your inner being will guide you using your feelings and intuition to find the best course of action. Yes, yes, yes. Big one on number 2 and number 4. Keeping the faith and your inner being will guide you. That's number 2 and number 4. Those ones really jump out at me as hardcore truth that, if you have a sinking feeling every time you think about it, that's what's your inner being telling you there, right? So then the question becomes, okay, well, then if that's not the choice, why would I go back? Well, I would go back because I'm fearful, right? And so you're believing that it can't happen. You're buying off on the idea that you can't find something else. If you can get yourself in the vibrational state of, I am no matter what going to to find something that's more in alignment. It's not a question. If you can drum up that vibration, I have no doubt that you will achieve that. Now, if there's all kinds of doubt in there, I'm not sure. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, right? Because the dominant vibration is what ultimately wins out. And of course, what we're doing all the time is we're doing combinations. We're offering conflicting vibrations all the time, which is why we get mixed results. So my thing that I will say to you is I don't have a definitive answer. What I do believe with all my heart is if you can get into a place of pure faith and yes, take action when you feel like taking action, work on your vibration through meditation or whatever else to elevate that high flying vibe of I'm going to attract something better. I'm going to align with something that's more a reflection of the next greatest and greatest version of myself. You will make that happen. It will manifest. I have no doubt. Now, if you're offering conflicting vibrations, you may get conflicting results. So really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. And I know some of this is challenging because you're still getting good at managing your vibration, as we all are. So what a great challenge for yourself. At the end of the day, whatever happens, guess what? It'll be right. Isn't that relaxing, refreshing, stress relieving realization? Because you can't get it wrong. Even if you went back and then you chose some, and then you're there for however much time and then found something else, that would be, whatever comes next is going to be right. So what you need to decide is from this moment forward, what you really align yourself with. Do you want to align 110% with the belief and faith that you will manifest something else? Then do that and make that happen. Go back, listen to episode, I pops into my head, Derek Rydall, episode 381, and he's actually going to be back on the show in the new year. I loved having this guy on. He talked about the law of emergence and the law of attraction and sort of the difference between the two ideas. And he shared a personal story of how he actually manifested when he was about to be kicked out. He was about to be evicted, and he got into such a high vibe. And then, of course, money, just opened up for him. So go back and listen to that episode if you haven't. Episode 381 with Derek Rydall. I believe that will help give you some perspective and you'll definitely relate to it. But there's no wrong answer, my friend. Whatever happens, but I do believe that sinking feeling is telling you something. This is an opportunity for you to step up your game and really move into a state of knowingness and believing and really digging down deep, right? A lot of times it's darkest before the dawn. Absolutely, that's the case. It happens so much. And so just keep the faith, find the faith, dig deeper. It's like, I think of yoga practice, it's like they tell you to push through with that pain. You want to quit right then and there. And then you keep pushing through. And that's when the breakthrough happens, right? And then you open up a whole new level of strength and resilience and ability to create. Right? And to manifest. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. That whole idea. Yes, you can. There is a version of reality, I would say, where Pete ends up in something else, very, very soon, not going back to that job. The question is, are you going to get in a vibrational alignment with it or not? And if you get into vibrational alignment with the version where you go back to the old job, great. That's going to be a path that has all kinds of rewards and growth in its own way, right? So you can't get it wrong here. All right, everyone. Hope this helps. Pete, hope that helps. And I also hope that helped you as well, Jonathan. That's my 10 cents. That's my $1.50. I'm sticking with it. That's my $1.11. That's my $11.11. Yeah, you get the idea. With that being said, I do have a song I'm going to leave you guys with. This is Saki, and the song is Orishas. Beautiful song. Hope you enjoy it. Love you all. Till next time, journey well. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.